Hello everyone and welcome to another episode. What I have on the bench today is my old CoCo2 machine. It's been stashed somewhere in the storage area for more than 20 years now, so I cannot even remember if this machine works after all and what needs to be done. I don't know, I can't remember anything about this machine. And so the purpose is to test it, check if everything is okay, and then I can hopefully upgrade it from 16K of RAM to 64. It is the US model, comes with a US mains plug, so I need to convert the 220 European AC voltage to 110, and hopefully we can easily upgrade the RAM and see what else is needed. And yeah, let's open it up and see what happens. The CoCo2 is based around the Motorola 6809 CPU, and it's a very robust, high quality machine, reliable over time and playful. You can do things and experiments, upgrades, whatever comes in your mind. And the quality of the whole construction is just great. This particular unit looks like it is in great condition. It was made in Korea. The production was running in parallel with US using the same part numbers. What I can recall from the past is that I broke the seal, the warranty seal. It's right here, and I left the sticker, but I removed the screw in the past. But I can't remember anything about this. We have another screw underneath, another couple of screws on the other side, 4, 5, 6, 2 right there at the top, and then we can remove the upper part of the computer. I have removed the top part of the cover, and now it's time to remove the keyboard. You can clearly see it's a membrane-based keyboard with a flexible membrane connector right here. It goes right into the socket on the PCB, but it's high quality, thick and reliable. Nothing to do with a Sinclair type and stuff like that, and hopefully it lasts longer over time. So let me put this keyboard, which is quite reliable, aside and move to the memory area. 8 chips were there. I have removed them already in order to put the new ones in, and it was a great decision made not to go with 4116s, because they need 3 types of power, -5, 12 and 5, while this design requires only 5 volts. And getting this purple picture, I was curious to see what is the output of the machine while there is no memory at all fitted. So now it's time to so what we get is this purple screen if there is no memory available at all. So let's move to the next step, which is to put in the new chips. So I found in my spares this set of 5164 RAM chips, so made by Hyundai, so I'm gonna be using these instead of the classic 4164, and then the next step would be go on the left side, find a couple of joints points here to indicate that it's going to be working over 64K now, and bridge the gap with a little wire. But all I get is this garbage screen like in the beginning. So apparently it wasn't the RAM in the first place, the old RAM, and I'm absolutely sure that it's not the new RAM. So suspect number 1 is now the processor right here, or the ROM chip right next to it. Any other supportive chips for I/O operations or video generator or anything, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. RAM chips again are new, so it's kind of frustrating now. Interesting. Alright, so far the new chips are into place. We got the little bridge connection here already soldered to acknowledge that there is 64K RAM present, and what we get is garbage on the screen. I don't believe we did something wrong here, and by the looks of the screen, looks like faulty ROM, if you ask me. So ROM fails to initialize, and unfortunately I don't have my new EEPROM programmer arrived yet, so I cannot burn a new image on some EEPROM or anything. So one of the crazy things I might want to check now is to get my one and only game cartridge that I have for a TRS-80, plug it in and see how the computer reacts with the game plugged in. I don't have high hopes something will be changing, but yeah, that's one last thing I should try. Just plug in the game and see if something is changing, and see what happens before we move to the next suspect, which is going to be probably the CPU, because I do have a spare one, but to me it looks like ROM is faulty at this point. So let's check how the computer reacts with the game plugged in, and we have nothing interesting. Same thing. So anyways, I think now I have to remove the board completely, remove the RF shield and get it loose, get on the other side, start with the CPU as I said, and this is a good chance I can place a socket for the new CPU to be plugged in, and go from there and eliminate things that we can and components, and eventually we should get it right, I guess. But again, this ROM, I don't like it. I think it should be changed with a new one. But the best thing to do for everybody, I mean, is to get the image of the Color Basic 1.1, which is an upgrade, and should upgrade the existing machines. Like everybody should do that, and I'm gonna be doing this by the time I get my hands on my new EEPROM programmer soon, I hope. For now, I removed the whole board, removed the cable from the power supply, and underneath we can find the so-called RF shield, which is a plate, looks like a paper, is conductive on this side and non-conductive of course on the other side, because it gets in contact with the circuit. And there are several clips, I mean too many clips holding the PCB together with the RF shield. The clips, it's easy to remove them. You just have to press or squeeze from above with some tweezers or something, and then they will simply fall. I'm going to prepare just the first half of the RF shield, just to raise it and get myself where the CPU is. I'm going to remove the CPU, put a new one with a socket, and see how we can eliminate elements one by one. So I'm preparing my soldering station here. I'm picking up the right socket for the CPU, and I should go ahead and remove the existing one. At least by the end of the day, if it's not gonna be the case, at least I'm gonna have a socketed CPU on this board. It's the least I can do, and at least I need to try. But I'm really, guys, convinced that it's gonna be the ROM that gives me all the trouble, and I should change it. I know that for a fact, just because I need to upgrade it at some point. So either way, needs to be changed. So I have removed the old CPU. I'm gonna put the socket in there, and I'm gonna try this the previous CPU. I'm gonna try it with onto a Dragon 32 I have somewhere around here, and see if it works. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the CPU from the Dragon in here, and see if it were we have chances to make the CoCo work, because I know for sure that the CPU on the Dragon works fine. One other thing I wanted to point out here is this amazing quality of the PCB gives you trouble-free soldering. It's fantastic. You cannot break traces, you cannot do some damage very easily, because it's high quality PCB, and I really enjoyed soldering and desoldering over this one. So let's go ahead and put this one in the Dragon and get the other CPU from the Dragon in here and see if we can make it work. And just to cut a long story short, no, it doesn't. It didn't work. So now you can see the CPU on the right from the Dragon. Needless to say, the previous CPU from the CoCo works fine on the Dragon. So now I'm focusing on the ROM. I'm really convinced this is the case. I'm going to put the ROM in a socket. I don't have 24 pins now. I'm going to remove some pins from the 28 pin socket that I have here and make it fit. And then I was thinking maybe I can try to fit and test the ROM from the Dragon onto the CoCo and see what happens. I was in touch with this extremely helpful and knowledgeable guy, Peter, from the 8 Bits in the Basement channel, who knows CoCo inside and out, and I hope I won't do any harm swapping the ROMs. At this point I might have a chance to make it work, but I'm guessing the last thing to do after checking the RAM and the CPU is by all means the ROM that is faulty, and should be replaced as soon as possible. The indication that I need now is if this will be working with the CoCo, the one from the Dragon, then we should know for sure what is the faulty part. Now I prepared the socket, already waiting for the chips, removed 4 legs in order to make it 24 pin, and I just grabbed the couple of ROMs. Actually there were 2 ROMs inside the Dragon, and the one, interestingly enough, is marked like 1.1, so maybe the Dragon used to have the color basic also along with the original ROM right here. That's the one on the left, the 1.1. So I'm going to install both for starters and see what happens, and then I'll go one by one if something goes wrong. As I'm not aware of any differences, if there are any differences between the 2 systems and the 2 ROMs, but I got apparently no results. Nothing happened. Same garbage screen, almost identical to the previous one, using the ROMs from the Dragon. So there must be something wrong here. Yeah, apparently It didn't work. It was an experiment. I haven't done this before. It was a crazy idea, but again, I don't know what else do you think of right now. So I was reading some articles over the web again, and I found out that many people had problems with a logic chip, the 273 flip-flop IC. So I got a bunch of them. So I guess I know the drill. I'll be doing the same thing. I will replace the octal flip-flop circuit and go from there. At this point, I really only have this idea based on the article, and then I should probably wait for my EEPROM programmer to arrive and burn a decent image for the ROM and finalize this project, hopefully. And to be honest, I don't have high hopes for this flip-flop replacement, but it was on the article. Many people agreed, and so I thought I should give it a try. At least another component will be in socket after all. And okay, here's the old IC. I got the socket here waiting. As you can see, again, this is a very nice PCB that lets you do the work easily without any fear of damaging the traces. I got the new ICs here. I'm gonna pick one, stick it in, and see what happens. Again, I don't believe this flip-flop is the case. I do insist on the ROM thing, but okay, let's do it. Since I have it here, let's replace this one as well. And yep, you guessed it right, nothing happened. So I guess now that I got the hang of it, I have removed the 6847 CRT character display, or in other words the VDG or video display generator chip as well. When I placed the order for the flip-flop IC, I also placed the order for a new bunch of video chips as well, so I'm going to replace this one. Everything is socketed almost, and I don't know what else to say. I do insist on the ROM, but pretty much I got the hang of it, and I'm replacing chips today like crazy. Only those two have escaped so far. So yeah, let me put the video generator chip into the socket and solder it in place, and see what else is there in store for me to do today, as I'm trying things over this faulty CoCo2. Hey, don't touch that dial, you're still on the right channel. I can explain. I was sharing any progress made, which means absolutely no progress made, with my friend Peter from 8 Bits in the Basement, and he offered me this solution. He sent me over his old ROM chip from his CoCo, because he recently upgraded his system, and I really have no words to thank you enough, Peter, for this. This is great. I'm going to test it in a while, and again, so many thanks for your help, for your understanding, and more for your willingness to help. So great news from 8 Bits in the Basement, the ultimate contribution. Thanks, Peter. I'm going to swap the ROMs in a while and see what happens. I'm going to remove the old one which gave me trouble. Hopefully this is the last chance I have to swap another chip over this CoCo, and everything will be fine. This one is a bit different, 84 13th week, but branded as Motorola chip. Okay, I'm happy, excited, and I cannot wait to swap the chips, and finally, after months of waiting time, to see my CoCo powered up again after more than 20 years now. So it's an exciting moment. Let me prepare myself and put my get my tools here and everything. I'm going to remove the chip and have to also put my bracelet on, I guess. So in a while the adventure for this CoCo will be over, hopefully, and we should have it back in working state after so many years. So where is my anti-static? Okay, this thing is important. Let me put it on and swap the chips immediately. I cannot wait. Now in the meantime, I have removed the bridge connection for 64K. I have replaced the chips with the old ones, so if it's going to be working, it's going to be working with 16K instead. And here is the new ROM fitted, and here is what we call the moment of truth. Crossing fingers here, trying to power up the machine again after so much waiting time, and it's working. It's working, and it feels great every time we manage to get an old machine back to life. Thanks, Peter. Again, many thanks for your help. Many thanks for your contribution. It feels great, and I have no words to thank you enough. The next thing to do is absolutely to upgrade the machine by the time I get my EEPROM programmer. I hope it will be soon, and of course I will make another video to swap the RAM chips again, and so this machine can support 64K games and software. So again, this is a great machine. I'm very happy and pleased. I always liked the CoCo. I have never spent much time around it, working with it, or doing any kind of experimentation or upgrades or anything before. So it's quite a moment for me now. I have the chance to build around the system several things, like for example, I want to keep on with the experiments over the serial port, and build some sensors around it so we can have real-time data analysis using the CoCo. Now I'm touching the components. This SAM chip is a bit warm, but not that bad. The processor gets very warm, so I guess I have to put a heatsink over the CPU, and this will be the final touch for today, and then I can close the machine and consider this project completed. As I said, the RAM chips will be replaced over some other video. I have already placed the heatsink on top of the CPU and another one on top of the video graphics chip right there. The SAM chip cannot have another heatsink on top of it because of this plastic thing which fills the gap between the space between the SAM chip and the keyboard. So I won't mess around with it. Won't do anything. I will leave it as is. Actually, the SAM chip gets only warm, but not that hot like the video graphics chip and the CPU. So another thing I have noticed is this plastic thing on the bottom case, which also fills the gap between the case and the keyboard. Some glue and it will be fine, I guess. Before we close the case, last but not least, we need to put back the RF shield, and this is something interesting I would like to show you. It's something that you cannot put the other way around, but just to be cautious, I want to show you that this outside part, the bottom part, is conductive, and you can listen to the continuity beeping over my multimeter, and the other part, which actually gets in contact with the circuit, of course, is non-conductive and nothing to be afraid of. As I said, you cannot put it the other way around, but you have to be cautious because this thing is conductive. In the bottom side. All I have to do now is to carefully put back each and every little clip, clip it back, and then I can close the case and finalize the assembly. I'm very happy and pleased today. Last thing to do is to check the keyboard. Apparently it works fine. And the other thing is to run this little command to indicate the free memory. For the moment it's 16K. We'll be back with this other video, how to upgrade to 64K, the one initially planned, but yeah, as things turned out, it was something different. But we'll be back. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. Again, many thanks, Peter, for your contribution. I'll be catching you soon with another video. Thanks. Bye.